Currently, I'm at BC Hydro. Yes, we keep the lights on. I work in the finance group. I'm in the enterprise risk group within the finance group, so we're a big organization. We've got lots of business groups. My title is decision analysis expert, so I kind of think I've got the best job in the whole company because I get to roam around Hydro and act like an internal consultant. And my shtick is when there are difficult decisions to make, when we're trying to balance complex alternatives that require multiple objectives, and these objectives are in conflict with each other, and we need to think about trade-offs. So how much money do we want to give up in order to protect the salmon, or how much reputation we want to suffer if we want to push through some difficult transmission lines through a highly populated area, or maybe across Burnaby Mountain. I get called in to help set and structure the decision for our executive. So really I pull on a lot of my training in psychology, but also the training in economics, and I have training as well in conflict resolution and facilitation. So my day might look like I'm standing in front of a group of folks, and we have economists in the room, we have First Nations consultants in the room. If we're out talking with the public, it may be concerned or maybe even outraged stakeholders in the room, and I'm trying to walk through a structured way of trying to figure out what are the things that matter, how do we measure them, how do they compare across the different options, what are the trade-offs if we go with option A versus option B versus option C. To get a bit more specific on some of the projects I work on, some of the long-term planning issues around that BC Hydro's been going through, I've helped set up some of the decision analysis frameworks. So the Site C project, for instance, I was involved in that. The Columbia River Treaty negotiations that are going on between Canada and the United States, on how we operate the dams on the Columbia system, and then once those dams are operated, how do you split out the benefits that are generated south of the border? We have a complex set of agreements between Canada and the United States. They could expire, or the United States could cancel the treaty. And so how do we look at how we value the benefits that we get out of jointly cooperating on this river system? So different disciplines do different elements of this, but it's only economics that weaves it all together into a coherent and useful package. So being an economist and being involved in those analyses, setting up those models, explaining them to folks, making them sing and dance, you can add a lot of value to that. When I was going through grad school, I was extremely lucky that I was well-funded the whole way along. And I watched my friends struggle. They had TA-ships, they had research assistantships, and so because I got paid my way through, I could go home a lot earlier than they could. I didn't have to work as many weekends as they could. The skills that they were picking up when they were doing these, when they were getting the professor's messy data and having to crunch it and put it into useful forms, do all that grunt work of analysis, the crummy jobs that I had as I was finding my way in life. I mean, if you had a non-linear career, mine was highly non-linear. Between doing data entry at some debt collection agencies to being a consultant. I think I missed teaching her by 1 year because I was a teacher at this college for 2 years at Pearson College in Vancouver Island. But all along the way, even though I was pretty sure I wasn't on a path to anywhere useful, I was picking up lots of skills from the things that I was forced to do in terms of learning how to talk with people, learning how to make presentations, learning how to crunch data, learning how to build models in Excel. So not only was the core theory of economics extremely valuable, but so was all the little other bits and pieces that I picked up along the way. So don't worry about getting those crummy jobs. Don't worry about those mismatches between where you want to be and what you end up doing for the first year or two. You got to recognize that you're going to be pulling in lots of important information and building the person that you will be several years down the road by doing the grunt, doing the work that the other folks don't want to do. It's all a really good experience. And you're going to put it together in some sort of weird and unique and wonderful package so that 10 years from now you're going to be here saying, this is how I did it, and this is how you guys are looking.